Jim, good to see you first of all. How are you finding going back to just having the one responsibility of playing now?
Yeah, I'm sleeping a lot better, mate. Not juggling and worrying and stressing, and I mean, I've got my own stresses alone, but yeah, it's kind of been seamless, the transition, and it's been good to, like I say, fresh, and you've got one focus on trying to get in the team, and still help lads here and there and little bits, and try and get ahead of the game with what the manager wants, and the messages, and try and help the lads from there as well. So, but yeah, like you say, one focus is playing, and it's nice, it's refreshing.
It's interesting you talk about the stresses. I wonder sometimes when you step away from something and you look back on it, it's perhaps only then you realise how kind of all-consuming it was at the time. Are you realising that now, looking back on that short spell as manager?
No, I think as the day goes on and the time just kind of gets away from you, and it feels like you don't have enough hours in the day to get through stuff, and you try and prioritise. So it's a great experience for me, and once you're in it, and it's like you say, when you come out and come away from that again, you just refocus and go again. And I do feel fresh, and I do feel like now it's just a case of get up to speed and just try and get in the team really, and help us move forward, which is it's a good feeling.
Has it given you a real taster for it, or has it put you off for life?
It was a steep learning curve. It's trying to get comfortable with not being able to control certain things, and if you can get comfortable with that and get adjusted or control what you can control, then I think it'll be all right. But that was the learning curve, definitely. Like in terms of in the game, trying to control everything and see things and help the lads, and you can't control everything. You're not on the pitch, so you can't control someone that's on the other side because they can't hear you. So little things like that, and trying to get comfortable within that is a task, and it's something I've learned. And should the day come where I'm on the side again, then I'll kind of be ready for that.
It's interesting when you first took over, you said about how much you still want to keep playing. I mean, some players almost cut their playing careers short a little bit because they get an opportunity in management. I wonder if you just want to make sure you play as long as you can, or whether that might become an option at some point in the future for you.
Well, I'll play as long as I feel I can add value, and as long as I feel fit enough, I'll keep going. That might not be the view of the club, so there might be a decision to make. Luckily, the club never stuck that on me and asked me about long term and if I wanted the job or anything like that. If I'm honest, I knew I wouldn't be getting it anyway, which is fine. I'm totally comfortable with that, and it was a difficult period, and a lot of uncertainty and unknown, and it was a case of okay, just let's keep us moving forward, and that was something that was a responsibility that I was comfortable with, and like I said before, the lads were really respectful in that aspect, and I can't thank them enough. So great experience, and one that I'm kind of proud of as well.
So have you played a part in helping Stuart settle in then and get to know what's going on and try and sort of hand over what you know?
Well, just initially I did. The thing for the manager is, and it's really, really difficult when you come in terms of, I think that as players it's easier for us because we need to get to know 2, maybe 3 new voices, but the manager and the staff, they've got to get to know 30, with playing staff, office staff, backroom staff. They've got to get to know all these different people, names, strengths, weaknesses, personalities, build relationships. That doesn't happen overnight. So I think as players, it's probably a little bit easier. In terms of handover, it was pretty simple. I led the session on Friday last week with a view to the game on Saturday. The game obviously didn't go ahead, so the manager took the session on Saturday, and then I'm available if he ever wants to chat about anything or find out anything or any information. But I think it's important that he kind of has his own first impression without getting led anywhere, and then there's no bias, and there's no any mixed messages or anything like that. So listen, the manager knows the way he wants to work. He's been successful, it's got him this far, so he's going to put his own ideas in, he's going to put his own stamp on the team, and we just jump on the train with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big step up for him as well, of course, going from part-time to full-time and at such a big club as well. How have you found him? How have the players reacted to having someone else leading things?
Yeah, great. I think you've just, like I say, you've just got to get on board, and there's going to be some things that are consistent with what we've done before. There's going to be new ideas, but like the manager said in his pressers, like, it's going to be drip-fed in. You can't just come in and just change everything. One, because it's really, really tough to do that, and two, because a lot of things are right here. A lot of things are really, really good in the way that we play. So from that point of view, I think he feels he doesn't need to change a lot, which is great for the consistency and to keep us moving forward. And he'll put his own stamp in the team, and the team will look the way that he wants it to look.
A couple of big games straight up, really, isn't there? I mean, Stockport obviously postponed last week, but it's still Barrow this week, and Mansfield away next week, straight into some big matches. But I wonder, from his point of view, kind of great to get a first game at Meadow Lane this weekend in front of the home fans, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be really good for him, and I know that the fans will be out in force, they'll be loud, they'll be very welcoming. So yeah, like, he'll have the backing, it'll be a big crowd, it's a big game. You want to play for Notts County, you want to play in these games, and the lads are looking forward to it as well.
Thanks very much, Jim.
Thanks,
cheers.
Hiya, Jim, you alright?
Hi, yeah.
I heard you say in a presser not that long ago that when you kind of took this role, you were noticing things that as a player you didn't really think about too much. Now that you've kind of gone back to being a player, is there anything that you're kind of taking with you that you think's a bit more transferable, something you've noticed that you didn't before and now you're going to use in your game?
No, but I can't let things go now when I'm on the pitch, because I'm, let's say, enthusiastic about seeing things and trying to solve problems in the moment and certain actions, and I might maybe go too far sometimes. But when you're a coach, you know the outcome that you want in a session, so you can, if you're working an out of possession session, you're focusing on that, you want that outcome. You don't need to focus too much on if the quality's not great in possession, because you're working on out of possession. So little things like that. But I can't, now I'm back in player mode, I can't let things slide, and because I don't have the outcome in my head, the outcome is win. So when we train, I want to win, and I think yeah, so I'm back to 100 miles an hour, being maybe a little bit over enthusiastic, but that's just me, and the lads know what they're getting, and it's the same every day.
In terms of, when you're back in training now, are you catching yourself telling some of the guys what to do, little bits and bobs there, but is that almost like an improvement on your personal trait of already being a leader within the role, I guess?
I think, to be honest with you, it kind of comes naturally anyway. I'm not doing anything different now that I've come back to playing. I mean, I was only in the role for like a week and a half, so I was still training, I was still the same. I do feel that on the pitch, especially on the training pitch, I'm quite loud anyway, and putting people in positions and coaching my way through the game. So in that respect, nothing's changed. My outlook's not changed. I still train the same way. I'm still as vocal, but that's just I can be vocal and I can get aggressive, but the aggressiveness comes to give myself energy. So I'll get aggressive, so it'll give me energy, and then the coaching points will come out. But I honestly, I've been doing that for the last, 5 years maybe. So in that respect, nothing really changed.
I know that you said that you want to play for as long as you can, but the thing with football, which is a shame for so many players, is that it doesn't last forever. Do you think your stint, sorry, I don't want to make you upset, but do you think your stint has kind of shown you some of the potential avenues that you've got when football is unfortunately going to come to an end for you?
Yeah, but I'm already ahead of that game anyway, because I've been coaching at Sheffield United in the academy for over a year now, which has been another eye-opening experience in itself. It's one that's really, really good. They work around my schedule, which is amazing, and I'm very thankful of that. Yeah, but then you take over a first team. It's different pressures. You're in that. It's results driven, and you need the lads to be on it. You're managing different personalities, and the relationship maybe becomes a little bit different because you're a different player. I kind of understand where it's going, but from my point of view, like, people have been kind of retiring me since I turned 30. Really, people started like talking to you differently, seeing you differently, or you can't get into that club because you're too old, or blah blah blah, and no one looks at what you can put on. No one wants to have a look at you. So I'm used to all that. That's fine. I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with the fact that I know that it's not going to last forever, although I kind of want it to, but I'm kind of comfortable with that. And like I said before, I kind of feel like I'm ahead of the game in that respect. And what capacity I want to be a coach, I don't really know yet. They want to be first team, they want to work in an academy, I really don't know, but I think you're only as good as your opportunities, and when the opportunity comes along, I'm sure I'll make the right decision.
The club as a whole has gone through a lot of changes over the last month. We're in the window at the moment, and we've got some new faces. Some of those are quite young. Them coming in, how has that transition been? How was your role in kind of trying to put them at a little bit more ease? Obviously, knowing that the club isn't going to be how it is right now forever. It was just a very hectic period, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, all the faces are young to me, so that's nothing new. But yeah, of course, lads need to get up to speed quickly because we can't stand still. So for someone like Robbo, for example, the new manager's in now, so we can start getting on board with his ideas, and we can start doing more video stuff and getting Robbo up to speed with the way that we want to play and the way the club operates and the way that we do things and the little details. And obviously Jaden's just new in the door as well, and but I think more so for someone like Robbo, who came in and then the manager changes and then he's kind of, wow, what's going on here? So but yeah, of course, nothing changes from my point of view, and I've done it before with like lads like Bozzy, for example. We know how good a footballer Bozzy is, and but we had to help him get up to speed quickly, and he was questioning himself, and he's like, wow, with the detail, and he didn't really, he kind of questioned himself whether he wanted to keep playing, and doubts creeping in, and then once the penny dropped, he's away, and then there you go. Like look at the year that he had last year. So yeah, we know good players when we see them, and it's just about getting them up to speed with the way that the club operates and the philosophy and the way we want to play.
And then my final one, just ahead of Barrow this weekend. But would you say it was a bit of a blessing in disguise that you didn't play last weekend, or is kind of time to reset with all the changes, or do you think everybody now is in a position where they just want to go ahead and get the job done?
It's much of a muchness, really. I think there's pros and cons to the game being on or the game being off. Obviously, the game being off gives the manager more time on the training pitch. I think the game being on would have probably, the players would have got more out of the game being on than the manager would. Listen, footballers, we want to play football, we want to play games. But yeah, we just go with it and we do what's in front of us, and game was off, so we came in and trained, and so obviously it's good for the manager to kind of let the dust settle and get his first session under his belt, and like I said before, get to know personalities and start to build relationships and start to drip feed these messages in, and it's something that kind of takes time. So I think from his point of view, he'd have been probably the happiest.